What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hold a Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bavo, in the building. What's good, bro?
Not much, man. Looking forward to chopping up. We got all three of us on here today, but want to quickly remind you can catch us on YouTube as well as follow us on TikTok at Hold a Husband Podcast. And for those interested in promos or shout outs, shoot us a DM on IG at Hold a Husband Podcast, as well as emails at hoetohusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
And we have my man SD back in the building after a couple weeks. What's good, bro?
Oh man, ain't nothing, man. Everything is good. Everything is great. Woke up this morning. What else could you ask for, right? Hey, listen, y'all. I wanna give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh, and I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Today's episode is titled Wasting Our Time. And we're having a conversation about evaluating dating situations and realistic expectations when it comes to dating situations. So that should be really interesting. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or on our timelines. So we got a couple interesting videos to discuss this week. This first video is a woman getting an explanation on why there are so many simps in the marketplace. Let's take a look.
There's too many simps.
Yes, but the reason there are simps is because most men struggle because the standards are so high. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The standards have become very high,
Right.
so most men don't qualify. So you have a huge number of men who are quite desperate because they're not getting anything. So they feel the only way they can get anything is by throwing whatever money they have to women for their minuscule attention. That elevates the women in the economy, which makes their standards even higher for the kind of man that they want.
Okay, cool. Women have set their standards super high, but I feel like if I was a man who didn't reach those standards, I would do everything in my power to better myself and reach those standards.
I agree with you, but then what happens is, if that man then breaks into that pool of men who have a lot of options, he's going to be like, I worked my fucking arse off to get here. There's no way that you're not sharing me. I worked my arse off to get to the point that I can have a level of abundance. 90% of you didn't want me before, now 85% of you want me now. And one of you want me to be exclusive to you? Nah. Guys who actually make it to the point that they have a lot of options, they're like, I love you, babe, but you're gonna have to share me because I worked my ass off to be in this position.
That's the reality that a lot of men have, especially the guys that are late bloomers and didn't have the success with women early on. I think what the whole conversation just highlights is the difference between men actually have to work and put themselves in a position to have success with women for the most part, versus women that can just survive off their looks and their appearance, and the desire that they naturally garner from other guys. I've never had to do simp behavior and, go all out to get chicks. But I do know how it feels to have a crush on a chick, how you respond, how nervous you are, and the growing pains and the trial and error it takes to be able to learn how to attract women. That's something that a lot of guys don't have nobody teaching them how to do it, especially in the digital world.
Yeah, I've had simp moments, but never a simp lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like it's different.
I think we all have.
Like, Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think the vast majority of men, no matter what status they have in life, have had simp moments, at least. Now, what she's talking about are dudes that have a simp lifestyle, what they are talking about, where they use their money in order to get women. Like, that's just what they do. Their money is in the forefront. They probably lame, don't have no personality, don't have the looks, don't have the charisma and the swag. So what they do is they put their money out in the front because why? Everybody knows that women love money, especially pretty
Yes.
women.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean you see it all the time on social media. It's a couple famous TikTokers and Instagrammers where they just get cars and go sit outside, and women, they try to talk to them without knowing what car they in. The women don't really want to talk to them. Then when they see them walk to the car, the women all of a sudden are interested. This is what men know. This is not something that's new out here. So, but then you have guys like myself that's been successful with women that had simp moments growing up where I did some simp stuff, paid for it, got played by a chick, and it's like, see, this is why I shouldn't be doing this. And then you learn as you grow, no, this ain't the move. And you actually learn to leave those women alone. So, you know, I think it plays out both ways. Go ahead, Jay.
I think both of them made some valid points here, you know, about simping and the facts. Because I think the average guy out here, a lot are, you know, struggling in the dating world as it relates to today. You know, many are just desperate just to have a woman next to them and have some kind of female company. And then, you know, you have a lot of men, they think, well, women like money, so if I make money and I lead with money, you know, say the women will like me, and it doesn't exactly work that way.
Yeah, I think that's really a motivation behind why so many guys are willing to risk their lives or do illegal things to get money, because of the success that it garners in relation to women for the most part. But that scarcity mindset where, you know, the simps and the lames are afraid to tell a chick no and afraid to tell a chick how they really feel. If you don't start learning how to do that stuff to your 20s and 30s, you behind the 8 ball. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we didn't grow up getting blocked and all that, but in order to be able to get a chick's number to call her, you already had to accomplish a couple of steps on the dating, you know what I'm saying, path. I don't think a lot of the guys that we're talking about now, especially the younger generation, they not familiar with walking up to chicks and shooting a shot in person and making a chick laugh on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like coming up with, you know, nicknames and inside jokes and stuff like that. Those are the things that get you one-on-one with a chick. And so I think we just have an advantage because we predate social media and the digital era. So we remember how it used to be with the dance floors and all that.
Yeah.
Man, that's funny. That's funny you said that. So I went to a spot last night and everybody was just in sections, you know, and the women were just dancing with each other. Like nobody was like on the dance floor, you know, talking, trying to get numbers. It was like, wow, how so much has changed in the past 10, 15 years here.
What, nobody trying to feel no titties?
No.
Man,
the women were dancing on each other, smoking hookah, drinking.
Nobody.
It's
get up on.
It's mostly I mean, from when I be out, if you don't already know the chicks, most guys ain't gonna really have no interaction with them. They're not coming to your section for somebody that you already with. I mean, I guess you could see, you know, other people and you could walk around and shoot your shot, but most guys ain't doing that. I guess I can understand probably why, because remember the walk of shame back in the day was just between you and your boys. But there's almost probably a 99% chance that somebody's gonna have you on their story or
everything's on camera. In this day and age, everything's on camera. You know,
so
and that's why, you know. You're right. But you know what
I mean, but embarrassment, people. I mean, it deters activity. You know what I mean?
I don't care, man. Listen. You can't be a loser all your life, man. Jump out there and see what's up with shorty. But listen, I do want to say this though, because this word simp, the word simp flies around social media like the word narcissist a lot of times, except the simp comes from the men and the narcissist comes from the women. And I just want to say that when you are with your woman, your wife, or somebody that you love and y'all are both committed and loyal to each other and all this, man, listen. You ain't simping with your lady, treating your lady well. You're not simping by treating your lady well. That's not what people should be calling simping.
Treating women well ain't simping either. I mean, you don't got to
but treating them well is one thing. So this is why I'm saying that, because a lot of especially the red pill community of guys, right? They call just treating your woman well as being a simp. Russell Wilson a simp, man. He doing it like I haven't seen nothing to do that has done that has been simpish. That's his wife, that's her child, whatever the case. Like I don't agree with a lot of that. To me, simping is when you have to do something that's not authentic and you do something that goes against your interest and your better judgment, something that you really don't want to do. in order to get a woman to like you. I think that that's simping, in my opinion.
I can agree with
doing
that.
something for a woman that you love or that's loyal to you, that you just treating a woman well. So the red pill got that messed up, in my opinion.
Yeah, them dudes definitely be a little extreme.
Let's
Let's keep things rolling. Now, this next video is a video. It was real quick and to the point. But a lady was talking about the need for women to have more than just an appealing body or a nice look. Let's take a look.
A lot of men are not impressed with just a pretty face and a fat booty, because that is everywhere. He has to be attracted to the way that you think, the way that you carry yourself, and the way that you treat him in order to satisfy him.
Now, I don't think that's dropping no gem or dropping the mic moment or nothing. It's pretty basic. Looks, obviously, that's the first step. If he don't like how you look, he's never gonna shoot his shot. He's never gonna. Well, I can't say never, because a lot of dating situations just arise out of happenstance. You met somebody through another person, and y'all were having a conversation. Like I know. There have been times where my initial time seeing a woman, I didn't think she was attractive until I saw her ass or saw her walking, you know what I'm saying, or saw her in a different hairstyle or a different outfit. So it might not be an initial thing, but in order for any dating situation to develop to something serious, he's gonna have to see you in different scenarios to see your decision making, how you handle people, your level of respect, and what your expectations are out of a relationship. The smart men that ask the right questions or make the right observations are the ones that avoid committing to chicks that they just met and doing those type of things that would fall into the simp lifestyle, like we mentioned earlier.
Listen, I disagree with her.
Why you say
I
that,
do.
Steve?
I do, man, because she said most men are not impressed by that, and I think that's a lie. I think that most men are impressed by that, because I think that in order to get to the point where your looks and your body ain't enough, you have to be a guy that's went through the gauntlet. And by the gauntlet, I mean the whole phase, dealing with different women. You know what I mean? And then now you're on the end of that, and now you're a more quality man now. You're looking for something more substance-based. I think that takes a while for most men to kind of get through. So when you're talking about, that's why you got so many women willing to pull their titties out on social media. That's why you got so many women willing to be sexual and have OnlyFans and all this. Because think about it. 90% of the people buying OnlyFans and subscribing and paying the $4 billion a year are men. Men are fascinated by women that look good and that are built nice, right? Because they haven't established themselves as quality, valuable men out here in society. So therefore, that's going to be enough to get them, garnish their attention, get their money, and get them to do anything for you. Whereas a man that's been out there, done that, now he done went through that, he's more established, he's more mentally sound, and all of these here things, he's a good man out here, it won't be enough for him, which are the men that most women want to date. So when you get to those men, now that's when your looks and when your body just ain't gonna be enough. You got to show up with substance. You got to show up with femininity. You got to show up with submission and compromising attitude and fairness to be with a man that has went through all of that, and now he knows exactly what he needs in his life, or else you gonna mess it up with him. But the rest of them dudes, oh, they gonna fall for that big booty and them titties most times, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I see what you're getting at with that one, SD. But I guess I see what she was trying to say as well. I think she was speaking for, like, quality men. Because having a pretty face and having a nice body can get you a lot of things. Pretty privilege gets you a bunch of things. Get men to pay bills. Get to clubs for free. Not have to wait in line. Those things are true. But I think for, like, the quality men, the men looking to settle down, have a family, that's not going to be enough. Just like you said, Esty, she's got to be able to bring substance, bring family, and bring more than just a pretty face.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I guess the natural assumption is she's talking about the guys that women actually want. But I guess statistically, what you're saying is right. It's just so hard to even think from the perspective of the guys that don't have no success. Because I can't even, like, okay, so if you 18 and you're a guy and you just now entering the dating market or whatnot, I would still, I mean, obviously you would smash them, but the chicks that's stripping and OnlyFans and all that, I wouldn't be able to view her as somebody I would want to have a child with or have call my
Yeah,
woman.
but
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
but it's not just them. It's not just the guys who can't get women. It's the hoes too. The hoes don't care. The hoes love this nice body and this pretty face. The hoes don't want women to have wifey qualities. They don't care if you're a homemaker. They don't care if you a support system. They don't care about none of that when they hoes. So you got the large percentage of dudes that can't get women. Then you got the percentage of men that are hoes. So I'm gonna go with about 70%, 75% of men out here, which is about 50% that can't get none of these here bad chicks anyway. And then you got
Right.
the other 20, 25% that are hoes out here. So that's a large percentage of men that will just go for the looks and the body just because.
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. That I completely forgot about the dudes.
The hoes. Because they running through them.
The bachelors are perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
having a bad attitude and the stuff she said in the video will get you cut off. Because like we talk about, the guys that are juggling women or have multiple women, there has to be something that makes him choose to call chick A over chick B. If they both look good, both got big booties, and you know what I'm saying, etc. And so how she treats him. Oh, such and such can cook. Her house is nice. And you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. There are differences that are going to arise in how they treat you, how they make you feel, and what the vibe being around them, even if they both very attractive and past the sexual and physical aspect of the attraction level. So it's always in a woman's best interest long term to be pleasant to be around, to be somebody that he can have long, meaningful conversations with, because that's where you I think in dating in general, man, a conversation in a car where y'all sitting there and you lose track of time. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those kind of conversations.
Right.
I've always felt that's the biggest bonding thing as far as dating goes. And that can happen anywhere. You ain't got to spend a lot of money to make those type of moments with somebody of interest.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But it's so many lames out here, man. Like these here dudes, man, they going for anything. You see it on social media, and I mean anything. Some of these chicks ain't even pretty. Some of them ain't even got body. You see it on social media all the time. That's why I say it's so many of them. That's why I don't agree with her. Because we see some of these here women, man, they come on some of these different dating shows, and I be sitting there like, the audacity of these.
Man.
Pop the balloon at 1.5 seconds.
Bruh, and I'm like, and then when you go to their social media, what do you see? You see OnlyFans, I ain't saying that. You see a bunch of dudes, a bunch of lanes that can't get them under their pictures, telling them that their hair is like the silk from India, fresh off the presses. Like they just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't have that charisma and that swag and that wherewithal, man, to not be there, to not be doing that under the pictures of a chick just because she got a big booty, but she looked like the Shrek from Donkey. Like these dudes are mesmerized by looks and the body. Don't get me wrong, I like it too. You like it too. Terry, you and Jay like nice bodies and pretty women. Absolutely. Like any other man. But the difference is that, man, listen, when I get to talking to you, I've cut plenty of women off, and you ain't got no substance about you. You ain't got nothing that you doing. You don't know how to really, really be that type of woman for a man. You don't believe in that because you strong, independent, don't need a man. That's it for me. Would I like to smash your guts in? Of course I would. I'm a man. But will I try to do it? No. I'm going to push you off to the side and keep it moving and only surround myself around women like she's talking about that's going to have more than just the looks, but I still want them.
Thanks. All right. Looks like we are up against the clock. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be getting into tonight's topic, wasting our time, where we're talking about evaluating dating situations and having realistic expectations for your dating situations. You are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back in a moment. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Wasting Our Time. We're just going to be having a discussion about how we evaluate dating situations and how we can make sure that our expectations are realistic when it comes to dating. So the first thing I want to ask y'all, like we hear that term wasting time all the time. I want to know, how would y'all define it? I'll start with you, Izzy. How do you define wasting time? Or
I really don't. Let me think, because I think you only wasting your time. And this is for me personally. If I don't want to do it to begin with, if I don't want to go out with shorty and I just do it just because I'm bored, then I would say, okay, I wasted my time. But if I am
even if you enjoyed it,
if I enjoyed it, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you didn't really want to link up with shorty, but you went out and you had fun, or the restaurant was good or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I wasted my time then, but if I knew from the beginning I really didn't want to go, then I go and it's a bad time anyway. It's like, yeah, I wasted my time doing this. But if I really want to go somewhere with a chick and I ask a woman to go out, right? I want to go out with her. So whether I enjoyed it or not, I don't consider it that I wasted my time going out with her. I consider it as a lesson. I consider it as a lesson of something that a woman that now is something that's there that I don't really rock with from another woman that I might meet. So I don't look at it as wasted time. It taught me something. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a smart perspective.
Yeah, because I asked her to go out. I wanted to go out with her. You know, it wasn't a thing that I was kind of iffy about, like, man, I don't really want to go with her. No, I asked her because I thought she was cool, whatever the case. I liked her. And then we got out. I really didn't enjoy it. That's one thing. You're not going to enjoy everything with everybody. But I don't
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think that's fair.
I would say it's, dealing with somebody for a period of time and the interest isn't mutual, where it's the person's not interested in you, or you're not really interested in that person, and yet you continue to try to pursue something or actually deal with the person like that.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I've never really, I don't use I'm wasting my time, you know what I'm saying? But I guess if I had to put a definition on it, I'd say a scenario where there is no real interest. And you don't get anything out of the situation. I see this term misused a lot, where a lot of women if they don't get a commitment or it doesn't end how they wanted it to end, then everything else is just wasting my time. I disagree with that notion wholeheartedly, because I believe the whole purpose of dating is to spend time specifically with the person of interest to figure out if you're compatible with them long term or not. And so hopefully in the process, y'all gonna have some fun, some laughs, some good food, you know what I'm saying? All these different type of things. But ultimately, the goal is to be trying to figure out the things that we talk about all the time, like decision making. Is our perspective on dating realistic? Is this somebody I can actually see being around my family? You know what I'm saying? All those type of things. But I want to do it. We can figure some of this out at the comedy show. We can figure this out at a concert. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do some enjoyable things because I want to see you in your fly outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like women really get dressed up nice to go see Beyonce and some of the, you know what I'm saying? Like some of these events. So as a man, you want to create in situations where you're going to be with a chick where she's looking her best. To me, if you're going on a date with a bad woman and the attention and vibes you get from that, to me, that's worth going on a date. Even if you don't smash or end up in a relationship with her, that was a pleasurable, enjoyable experience, even if that's all it was.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, man. Everything ain't wasting your time. And I think that that's one of the things that causes women to keep repeating the same issues with men over and over again. Because they take the I wasted my time approach instead of the it was a lesson approach. So when you take the I wasted my time, or because they don't say they say that person wasted my time. They don't really put it on themselves and say, man, I did this or I did. No, they put it on another person, say, oh, they wasted my time because of blah, 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 blah. Which a lot of times it takes the accountability and the responsibility away from them, because that perspective, the perspective of wasting the time is a lot of times built off of expectations. They built off of expectations that a lot of times the other person has no clue.
No idea
what their expectations are, or they're desperate for relationships, which leads into the next thing we were going to talk about, right? They're desperate for a relationship, and with that desperation, or they have expectations, because it might not be just for a relationship. It could be for sex, because the guys could do it too, where they take a woman out to eat, to dinner, and they expect to smash because they done took her out and spent $300-400. Well, now they don't get to smash. They like, man, she wasted my time. Well, guess what, loser? You're gonna have that happen again. It's gonna happen again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's the same concept when you talk about women and having that mindset when they don't get the outcome of the relationship, the outcome of the commitment, the outcome of the marriage that they think that they might get from just going out and spending time with a dude. So they never take that accountability back on themselves and say, hey, I had too many expectations going into it. So now I need to change that and adjust how I think and my emotions and how I control certain things and how I move. No, they say it was his fault. And now they go and repeat the same thing over and over again. That's what we see. And that's why, because the expectations are what causes them to say, I wasted my time.
Yeah, it always lacks the self-reflection, because there could be a valid reason why he stopped calling you or stopped trying to link up with you. You stood him up, you know what I'm saying? Like you non-responsive, you don't show no interest, you don't show no engagement. Like there are a lot of things that a woman could genuinely do that could make a guy that was very interested in her lose interest. And it ain't his job to explain that to you per se. But I would think if you're seeing the same pattern of behaviors, eventually you got to have some type of intelligence to start figuring out how you're contributing to those situations, because men are forced to do that. If the chicks that you were hollering at, all of a sudden, all of them stop texting you back, or none of them respond when you reach out, there's a reason. You know what I'm saying? There's something about you that is not interesting those women. And you have to figure it out. You know, sometimes that can be a painful thing to figure out, but it's the reality of it. You know, the world we live in, you know, it ain't fair. So you got to get out your feelings, and you just got to focus on what it is or what it isn't. But in regards to the wasting my time thing, I think that's largely a lot among people, like as D said, that are desperate to go in a relationship and are going into it with preconceived notions about what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because I think that's problematic for anybody, because dating is always going to be a fluid situation. And what I mean by that is it's based off what you're experiencing up to that point. Because at any moment, somebody could say something or do something that completely changes how you view them and changes your desire to be with them. And that does not change once you get married or once you have kids. Your spouse can say or do something that makes you want to file for divorce and no longer trust or respect them. So it's always a situation you have to constantly be monitoring and constantly assessing how you contribute into the situation.
Yeah, that's true. So let me ask y'all, is it realistic to expect to get something tangible out of every dating situation? Is it realistic?
No. Because we know a lot of it is just going to be for a free meal. A lot of it's going to result in the interest not being mutual. That was they one date and they like, nah, he lame. Or, you know what I'm saying? There could be a bunch of reasons why nothing else comes of the situation. So no, I don't think it's realistic to expect that. What about you, Jay?
I don't think it'd be realistic because, you know, everybody's different, right? Relationships are basically give and take. Even initial dating phase, it's give and take, right? You got to take the good with the bad. Is everybody you meet going to bring something tangible? Like you said, sometimes the interest just is you meet somebody and like you said, going into that first date and you might lose interest for one reason or another. So, you know, you just got to take it for what it is. I don't think it's realistic to expect anything tangible out of the situation. Unless you're actually dating and it turns into exclusively dating, then that's different.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I guess the build up to the first date or the conversations leading up to the first date, I think play a large role in shaping those expectations. But I also think how y'all met makes a big difference. Because I think, like, for example, if you met somebody at your cousin's barbecue that's a friend of the family, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's drastically different than a chick that you meet on the gram. So.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just sitting here thinking about it because I looked up this here definition of the word tangible, right? Okay. A thing that is perceptible by touch, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then perceptible is able to be seen or noticed. And I think that, man, how can I say this? I think so. I do think so let's say from a woman's perspective, right? When a woman go out with a man, what's something tangible that women typically expect from a man? They expect him to pay. They expect
him to pay for the date.
Yeah. So I'm saying they expect him to fund the activities. In most cases, you do have some women that'll, you know, hey, let's go Dutch or whatever the case. But in most cases, they expect something tangible out of that. And in most cases, they get it. I know with me, they get it. And you know, with other guys like that. And for because you know, if I'm asking a woman out, it's only right that I pay, in my opinion, right? So yeah, you're gonna get something out of that. For me personally, and how I think about it is that yes, I'm getting something tangible out of it, even if it's not something good. Even if it's not something good, it can be perceived or seen or something that's noticed, right? That's of some type of benefit to me, which could be the fact that I learned that I don't like a materialistic woman. I might have spent $200, but now I get to see and I get to notice a behavior in a woman that don't really rock well with my personality. Is this something that I can hold and put in my hand? No, it's not. But it's something that I can hold and put up here in my mind that'll help me out in the long run. It might not be the $50 or $100 that I paid for the meal that's helping her right then, but it's going to be something that helps me later on in life. So therefore, to me, yes, I expect to get something tangible out of it, even though it might not be something that can be seen or felt right in that moment, personally.
Well, yeah. See, I thought the word tangible meant something that you could actually physically touch. But based on what you're saying, being able to perceive something, so then yeah, I'll change my stance on that. Because I think that one thing that you should definitely be able to tell or identify is the level of interest that the person has towards you. You going on a date for somebody that's really interested in and really attracted to you, their body language, their positioning, the conversation, everything is going to reflect that, and it reflects the opposite when when you're that dude that ask a chick that's out of your league on a date or beg the chick to go on a date with you. Like, the signs were there before that she wasn't interested, but the body language that she's going to give you while you're there, being on her phone, distracted and all that, those are things that I think you can take from a date just from being around somebody. You can tell whether they rock with you or not.
Think about it like this. You said something that you can physically touch, right? And that you can feel, right? With your hands. But think about it. If you watching and you looking at a woman and she seems disinterested, she on her phone, she giving you attitude, guess what? You gonna feel that. No you gonna feel it, but you're not gonna feel it. You see what I'm saying? So it can still be tangible based off the definition because of something that's noticed and something that's touched. I'm not gonna touch it, but I'm gonna feel it either way it go, because I'm gonna feel that energy. So yes, I expect to get something tangible every time I interact with a woman, just like she expect to get that date paid for. It's all good, boo. We gonna get something out of this. So
I wanted to switch things up and ask y'all. You know, a lot of the times we referenced earlier the balloon popping game, and that made me think about a lot of the reasons that men and women in dating situations seem to be really silly or immature to me. So I wanted to just kind of, y'all still outside. What are some of the
whoa, wait, time out. Let's go back. Time out. I know I had to cut that in because you like, man, y'all outside. Wait a minute, ladies, hold on. I'm not outside like I used to be outside. All right. This is
you on the porch? You on the porch?
I'm on the porch. I step off the porch every now and then, but I'm not outside. All right, Jay, you outside? Well, you just said
I'm outside. I'm outside. Hey, I'm outside. Hey, there's no doubt about it.
Okay, cool. Now that we got that out the way, Terry, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to ask y'all, like, so what do y'all consider like some of the reasons that these women are given for a dude? He pulled up in this type of car. He pulled up in like some silly reason. What do you? To me, I don't see how somebody can have silly dating standards and then complain about having their time wasted. To me, you're disqualified from that conversation if you make dating decisions like that.
Yeah, you know what? I think I think we discussed this briefly last week. Women find ways to disqualify men. And they're not wrong for it per se, but it's just the reason and rationale that they have for disqualifying. Like I said, it would be like the silliest of reasons. Oh, he pulled up in this kind of car. I don't like the way he chewed gum. It just be something like really silly and very trivial that doesn't really, it's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things. What you got, SD?
Listen, I'm going to talk about my personal thing. I've had women cut me off for being too light-skinned. I had a woman tell me she was lighter than me, black chick. And, we talked, it might have been a week. We didn't do nothing, but she called me. She was like, I just can't do it. And I'm like, do what? She said, I want light-skinned babies I want dark-skinned babies and you too light. And I was like, what are you talking about? Babies? Sweetheart. What do you mean, babies? And she was like, yeah, but I tried. I thought I could, but you too light-skinned for me. And I don't want to deal with somebody light-skinned. I was like, wow, okay. Well, she wound up marrying a dude and got cheated on, and it didn't last 3 or 4 years, but she had a couple kids with him and then tried to come back over this way. This is kind of before social media.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm straight, yo. You ain't coming over here with these here little bastards you got now trying to get over here.
Right. Like her attraction to the light skin changed all of a sudden.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I had a chick cut me off because I had a phone case. I had a phone case, a phone pouch. And
Stupid,
she was
just
younger.
the stupidest stuff.
Yeah, she was younger, and she was like, "Is that a phone pouch?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a phone pouch. What about it?" Because I had sent her a picture of me, just I was going out, and she's like, "Is that a phone pouch?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "You wear a phone pouch outside?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a little older. It's a habit from work." And she was like, "Well, let me hit you back." I was like, "All right." I never heard from her again.
A phone pouch? Hey,
I
really?
never heard from her again. I never heard from her. Like, that's what it is.
So SD, I guess I thought you were about to talk about your toes thing, how you cut.
How I've done it, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, is that something that's just gonna be such a turn off, or something that you can't get past? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I get it. So this is the thing with me. Like I understand it when a woman want to cut me off for something silly. I get it or silly or something like that, because we all got little different things. Like if a chick's feet is busted, I can't do it. If you know what I mean, I can't do it. I'll be like, nah, man, I can't. If her wig lifting up, I don't even like wigs. But if I see you with this wig on, I don't want to be bothered with you and you wearing a wig. Like, so I have my own things. But the problem comes in when people want to insult you for different things like that. So I get it, but the women, you can't complain about it if you're only, and this is the issue with it, in my opinion. Most women only like about 20% of the men. This we know, right? They only like about 20% of the men that are swagged out, charisma, finances, looks, height, all that stuff, right? Well, that 20% of men has an abundance of women. In that 20% of men, you probably got 10 to 15% of them that's players, and that's what they want to do, right? So you have to understand that you yourself are limiting your pool down like that, because you got guys in the other 80% that would treat you like a queen.
Probably be good husbands.
Yes, be good husbands and good dads. You know him. You all know him. He in the friend zone. He ain't smelled titties in 4 years, and you won't let him sniff yours either. So you can't complain about the 20% while ignoring the 80% that you can go and get that would treat you well. So that's why a lot of their complaints fall on deaf ears when they get out here and start talking, because you're talking about a small percentage of men that only like $100,000. He got to be over 6 foot. Well, this here dude is a small percentage man. So you cannot complain when he has all the options and all the leverage and wants to exercise his options because of the leverage.
That's what the word market talks about, how the choices and decisions are made freely, and the dating market is just that. Men, especially the men that are in a position to have success and have the options, most of them don't want to settle down and be with one woman. So getting that type of man to commit and marry you is always going to be a major uphill battle, especially for women that don't have realistic standards and don't have the self-awareness to realize where they actually rank in the dating market. It's no different than like we talked about the simp lifestyle. The dude that don't have he ain't willing to date the girls that's on his level. He gotta try to get with some chick that is clearly not interested in guys like him, but he's doing it by any means necessary and making crash decisions on the way. That's on him. Guys don't really have a lot of sympathy for that type of dude. Your account's negative because you sent some chick. You're saying like, man, I don't feel sorry for dudes that do stuff like that. So it is what it is, man. We both have to learn from our dating decisions and figure out when we're wasting our own time. Looks like we are up against it. Right.
You can't complain. You can't complain if you participate. If you're willingly participating in whatever it is and you knew what it was up front, you cannot complain about it and say, oh, I wasted my time or he wasted my time. No, you wasted your own. This is your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault. You were a willing participant. You weren't used to none of them other words they use. All right.
Right. All right, y'all. Looks like we up against the clock. We about to get up out of here. Before we go, man, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Self Productions, for keeping us nice with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.